that shows his mental decline.
Oh, yeah.
His wife was sitting right there next to him, and he is so spaced out. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it's elder abuse.
Oh, no doubt.
But, I mean, this is elder abuse. Just to keep, political power, and Jill Biden, just wanted to be in the White House.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you draw the line?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it's obvious. It looks like what it is, and it's not good.
Right. And the one thing I'm going to say before I hang up, you were on your YouTube, nice shirt, by the way.
Oh yeah, my wife. This is the first time I've worn this shirt. Did I get all the tags off? By the way, I just started my new YouTube feed because I had that latency in the first one. So I think the latency is
3 seconds. It was 43 seconds behind because I was sitting there counting it before I called in. So it was 43 seconds.
Well, my daughter fixed it for me. I texted my daughter, and she was up, thankfully so, and she went and did something to fix it. So we call my daughter at home. We call her Tech Support. That's her nickname. Because anytime we have any problem with anything, we talk to my daughter, and she got it going. So I ended the previous YouTube live feed, guys. So go and check out my new one.
Yeah, I will be coming back to it because normally I listen to it in the background when I'm in the truck. So, I mean, I'm actually on a first shift today, so actually watch it, not have to watch it later.
Well, that's awesome. Somebody in the chat room says they think I spent $140 on this shirt. No, I got this shirt at Marshall's, off the discount rack at Marshall's. It looks expensive. But no, this is from off the rack at Marshall's. I wouldn't pay $140 for a shirt. Are you kidding? What do you think? I may support Trump, but I don't have that Trump money. No, I can't do that. All right, hey, listen. Yeah.
Pretty soon you'll have to get the Trump 2024 shirt because I would imagine it'll be coming out. But thanks for...
Well, thank you so much. All right, well, take care. Thanks for the call. Yeah, so those of you that watch on YouTube, I restarted a new live stream, which I just fired up a minute ago, and my daughter got everything fixed, and my voice is matching up now. I don't look like a guy out of sync by, what did the last caller say, 43 seconds? So I got it up and running again. So go back, Brian Craig on the YouTube, and it is live, and my mouth is matching up to my voice, which is really awesome. All right, our number, toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. So I want to get into this thing with Liz Cheney. This whole deal with Liz Cheney is very troubling to me. She voted to impeach President Trump. She's obviously doing the dirty work of her father, of the deep state, of George W. Bush, and the establishment. And she's a real lowlife. And she's one of those people that I don't know if it's possible to primary her out because she's so well placed and so well connected. But the other problem we have with her is that even if she were primaried out, is President Trump's going to primary out a lot of these jerks, okay? But even if she's primaried out, she's such a part of the deep state because of her father, that she'll always have a role. She'll always have a role because of her family connections. But she gave a very long interview to the Reagan Library people. They have some type of online show. They were interviewing her, and she said there's something the Republican Party needs to do. This is Liz Cheney.
Very important for us to ignore the temptation.
By the way, this is one of the few times I've heard her voice. I would not recognize her voice. Like Romney's voice I know. Liz Cheney, I didn't recognize her voice, but this is Liz Cheney.
Very important for us to ignore the temptation to look away. And it's very important, especially for us as Republicans, to make clear that we aren't the party of white supremacy. You certainly...
Wow, okay. I was going to talk a little bit more about that. The Republicans need to prove that we're not the party of white supremacy? Are you kidding me? That implies that we're doing something to make us look like white supremacists. The Republican Party is not the party of white supremacy. You know what she needs? She's got a hell of a lot of nerve, right? You know, when she voted to impeach the president, this sneaky thing, they had this vote to remove her from the leadership position, and what did they do? They had a secret vote so people didn't know how she voted. They did a secret vote, very low life, and she's calling out the morality of President Trump with what her fathers took part in, with these endless wars and all these poor wounded warriors we see on TV. But Liz Cheney, she had to sit around and think for a long time when she was first running for Congress, whether or not she was going to disown her own sister because her sister's gay. Right? So she's saying that we in the MAGA movement have an image of being white supremacist. Nothing could be further from the truth. I know that's what the left say about us all the time, but she has done something when, it's one thing not to have a political position against some of, the gay agenda, like marriage and same-sex marriage and these things. What she did was different. She had to decide whether or not to openly condemn or accept her sister because she's gay. This wasn't a political thing about gay marriage or gay adoption or one of these things. And she was willing, and the opinion polls told her what to do, but she was willing to disown her sister for political gain. When someone will sell out even their sister for just a little political gain and decide what to do based on what a poll does or a focus group says, I mean, think about it. She gets some Frank Luntz guy. Should I disown my sister for being gay, or should I love the person but hate the sin? Love the sinner but hate the sin. She hires some Frank Luntz type guy. Could have even been Frank Luntz, I don't know, but some Frank Luntz guy, a guy that does focus groups. Get some focus groups together and find out if I should disown my sister for being gay or embrace her, and then I'll publicly decide what to do. When someone is that much of a lowlife as Liz Cheney, how dare she accuse us of being bigots? She's the one that obviously has some moral issues. But let me go back to this because she talks some more. This is Liz Cheney.
To ignore the temptation to look away. And it's very important, especially for us as Republicans, to make clear that we aren't the party of white supremacy. You certainly saw anti-Semitism. You saw the symbols of Holocaust denial, for example, at the Capitol that day. You saw a Confederate flag being carried through the rotunda. And I think we, as Republicans in particular, have a duty and an obligation to stand against that, to stand against insurrection. That for us to fight, what Margaret Thatcher called very aptly the quicksand of socialism, which we are facing from the left, for us to fight that effectively, the Constitution has got to be our shield.
Okay, now this is the thing. I always tell you, beware of politicians wrapping themselves around the Constitution. See, and what she's doing is this really shows how stupid she thinks Republican voters are. She's saying terrible things. Of course we condemn insurrection. Of course we condemn busting into the Capitol. But notice how she immediately so she's saying that the MAGA people are white supremacists, that they were part of an insurrection and all this stuff. And then at the end, to save face with people, she mentions protecting the Constitution because the focus group told her that that's a buzzword, that protecting the Constitution. Oh yes, that'll ring with them. Those concerned, you say protect the Constitution, respect the Constitution. That'll mean something to them, and you get that in there, and it'll be okay, Liz. Liz Cheney is a scary person. She needs to be thrown out of the Republican Party, and what can be done about that, I don't know. Because of her father and all of this, but we're at a point now. There's this CPAC speech of President Trump's on Sunday is so important. So important. President Trump needs not just our support, but he needs us to be talking about him and advocating for him because, there's a big battle coming in these midterm elections. It's the Liz Cheney, Mitt Romney, never Trumper wing versus President Trump and the people of the Republican Party who were voters. And Liz Cheney, if she were honest with us, and maybe she would be, if I had Liz Cheney on the phone right now and I was interviewing her, my first question would be, why did you vote for Joe Biden? And I would, and notice the way I asked the question is a way, instead of saying, did you vote for Donald Trump? No. You got to do it in a way to catch her off guard. Why did you, Congresswoman Cheney, why did you vote for Joe Biden? Because if she said anything other than that she did and told us why, she'd be lying, right? See, we have a lot of these Republicans. Liz Cheney, Mitch McConnell, Mitt Romney, and a lot of others, okay? And a lot of others who voted for Joe Biden, and they're out there calling themselves the true and real Republicans. Nothing could be further from the truth, okay? Nothing could be further from the truth than that. And they need to be called out. And President Trump is going to spend the next, well, a little less than 2 years, because the midterms are less than 2 years away. But the next 1 3/4 year is going to be spent primarying rhinos like her out of office. And the thing about it is this, okay? And this is very important, is that, every member of the House of Representatives is up for re-election. The Senate, they got 6 years. It's only a third up. I don't know who's up and who's not. I know some of them, but not all of them. But every member of the House of Representatives is up for re-election. Okay? That's the way the House works. And they need to be primaried out of office, these never-Trumpers like Liz Cheney, and it needs to be successful. And the reason it needs to be successful is because President Trump's midterm election successes, House, Senate, and I'm sure some governors, will determine what he does the day after. And what I want to see President Trump do the day after is come out and have a huge victory lap for the huge MAGA wave, okay, in the midterm elections in the Congress and the governors, whatever governors are up. I don't know which one of these rhino governors are up, if any of them are. But at that point, announce that he is officially running for re-election in 2024. We really desperately need that from him. And you know what? And I'll tell you something. I'm telling you something. If he doesn't do well in the midterms, it's not that he couldn't be re-elected after that, but it would not be as easy. See, him winning the midterm primarying out of these jerks like Liz Cheney out of office will make it more of a sure bet that he wins in 2024. Okay? And we really, really need that. I mean, listen, if President Trump isn't the nominee and doesn't win in 2024, Kamala Harris is going to be the president. Biden has 1 term. He's not going to run for re-election. They're trying to take the nuclear football away from him, the Democrats, right now as we speak. Okay? Kamala will win unless Trump is there. Okay, we'll take our first break of the second hour. I'm Brian Craig, and those of you that watch on the YouTube, I started a new feed, and my lips match up with my voice now. The latency is gone, courtesy of my daughter. Thankfully, she was still up. Okay, she was still. Hey, she's 21 years old. They stay up. They have crazy hours. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest running radio show. We'll take our break and be right back after this. Be right back, guys. Steve Kane Show. Hey, hold on. Steve Kane Show.
Diabetes is preventable, and one of the
Hold on.
preventable measures that is most effective is wearing the proper shoes. outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires at Friendly Tire in Margate, where they have all the major brands like Goodyear and Firestone at discount prices that absolutely can't be beaten. Steve Kane's tires for his Toyota van at the other shops, $175 a tire. At Friendly Tire, just $75 a tire. That's a $100 savings per tire. Tires for my daughter Emily's car, $135 at the shops around town. The price at Friendly Tire, only $65. That's a $70 savings per tire. These prices are out the door and on the road. Free mounting and balancing and no added charges. Friendly Tire have a great selection of good used tires too, starting at just $30 for most cars. Call my good buddy Friendly Mike at Friendly Tire. Tell him what you drive and he will give you a great low price right over the phone at 954-977-9445. 954-977-9445. Online, friendlytire.net.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WW.
Oh, I'm not going to name drop too much, so I'm going to be vague about it. But during the break, I just got a text message from someone from Right Side Broadcasting. I'm not going to say who, but I was just talking with someone from Right Side Broadcasting during the break. Sent me a text message. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. If you're just tuning in, a whole hell of a lot has happened. This is being reported by left-wing Politico. Nearly 36 Democrat members of the House of Representatives have signed a letter talking about taking the control of the nuclear arsenal away from Biden. Huge story. We've been talking about some other things too. Mitt Romney says that President Trump will win the nomination in 2024 and a few other things as well. So that's what's on the table. Let's get to your calls. Good morning. You're on the air. What's your name?
Brian, Robert Benson.
Hey, Kentucky. What's up?
Hey,
I turned 69 on Monday, 28th, and I take care of my 91-year-old father.
and he has advanced,
Yeah.
and he can relate the stories that happened 60 or 70 years ago like it was right now. But if you ask him about anything that happened 10 minutes ago, he has no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, now when I was growing up, the nuclear codes and everything was a big deal. People talked about it all the time. The nuclear football and the nuclear codes and all these things. I've not heard anyone talk about it in many years. This is the first time, in fact, I've heard anybody talk about the nuclear codes in a really super long time. And I know they're trying to promote this under the guise of some nuclear control deal, which isn't even an issue anymore. But what they're really doing is they're worried. They're worried, and what they're worried about is him waking up in the middle of the night and not knowing what's going on, not knowing who's, what year it is, what's in control. And this is a big deal for them to talk about taking the nuclear codes away from him. This is unheard of. There's always been talk of nuclear disarmament. Not for a long time, but many years ago, where they used to talk about nuclear disarmament. But they never talked about. I've never remember them talking about taking the codes away from whoever the president was at that particular time. That's new.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's what scares me, is because of the fact that I know who my dad is, and I know it would be the same thing if he wakes up in the middle of the night and thinks he's back in World War II or something like that, or whatever.
Yeah.
That's extremely dangerous, not for just America, but for the world.
Yeah, it sure is. All right, take care, man. Thanks for the call. You're on the air. Good morning. Louise. Hey, how you doing?
This is Lester from Louisiana.
Okay. A little bit of it.
Police officers about the riot.
Yeah.
The FBI is going to come on next week. They're going to have to hear with them. So it's all the FBI's fault, not the police and all that.
Well, what was the most interesting, there were a couple of things that came out of that yesterday. Okay, one was an acknowledgement that Antifa was a part of it, which was the first. Yeah, that was the Antifa being a part of it was the first time somebody actually involved in the security of the Capitol that I know of said that. So that how involved were they? And what I was saying the next day, and I'm very upset at these MAGA people that went in there. Okay, I'm very pissed off at them. They screwed up everything for us, and all of us that are MAGA people are going to have to answer to that breach for the rest of our lives, because they're never going to let it go, and it's only a matter of time before the first books are printed about it from the left. Okay, this is going to be a constant thing. But what we've really got to ask with that is, how involved were they, Antifa? And what I said the day after was this: yes, most everybody that went in there were MAGA people, but what happened was Antifa knocked the doors down and the windows out. When you see the footage and you see these guys in helmets, they're like in army helmets, and they wear like these Power Ranger armor things. They got like pads on their legs and things like this. Those are the uniforms of Antifa. Those are not MAGA people. And the ones that broke in the doors the way they got in is they broke the windows, climbed in the windows, and opened the door from the inside. Okay, they didn't bust the door down. They broke the windows. You see this on the videos that the Democrats have even shown. Those look like Antifa to me. Now, MAGA people followed them in. There's no doubt about it. I'm not excusing it. They're wrong and they messed up everything. But when that was the first public acknowledgement that Antifa played a role in that breach.
But did you hear what happened? They knew since the 3rd, and they never called the police officers, and the FBI knew about it, but they did it the same day. They told them about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, one of the things that has not really been discussed too much was when it came out a couple weeks ago that the leader of the Proud Boys was an FBI informant, and and the FBI picked up the Proud Boys leader a couple days before January 6th, and then forbid him from being in Washington. And what I think happened there is they picked him up so they can't have an informant that's doing crime, and I think they went and picked him up so that he wouldn't be involved in the breach. They did a preemptive thing there, the FBI, and then yesterday when they told us that the FBI didn't properly inform the Capitol Police, that's two things connecting the FBI to the everything that happened. I know a lot of this sounds. I am not a conspiracy person, and I'm not in denial that most everybody that went in there was MAGA. I agree with that, okay, and I'm pissed off at all of them. They should know better. But what I'm telling you is that the people that broke the windows and opened the doors were not MAGA. Antifa, Proud Boys, and I'm not saying that all the Proud Boys are bad. I saw some of the Proud Boys on President's Day up at Mar-a-Lago, okay, and they seem to love Trump as much as we do, okay, but I don't approve of what they do when you hear these things about them. But I think it has been disappeared from the media that the Proud Boys leader is an FBI informant. That's been totally disappeared.
You gonna watch the next hearing and see what the FBI got to say?
Of course, we're gonna follow this. Yeah, we're gonna follow this. But this is the thing about congressional hearings, though. Congressional hearings, very little ever comes out of them. I mean, think about it. There's always congressional hearings. They've been going on as long as there's a Congress. And rarely, if any, Nancy Pelosi's putting together this investigative commission into the breach. They call it the insurrection, right? Trump's insurrection, they call it. and she's only putting a couple Republicans on the commission to investigate. And why do you think that is?
Yeah.
Because they don't want to really find out.
President Trump gonna get back in, and he's.
Well, no, they don't want it to. Nancy Pelosi, this 9/11 commission into the breach that she's putting together, she doesn't want them to truly publicize and find out what led up to the breach. You know? Yeah, you know, and they keep saying white supremacists this, white supremacists that. Listen, everybody there is on video. They can identify every single person there that went through the windows and everything. They could, and they've arrested a couple hundred people, you know, but they know it was Antifa that went through that window. And look, they got
278 people they arrested.
Oh, they've arrested that many now. The number's gone up since last time I checked. Yeah, okay, it's gone up. So to almost 300, you know. And then a big story came out this week that CNN and NBC News paid $35,000 each, a total of $70,000, to that one Antifa guy that was in the MAGA gear for his footage into the breach. And One American News had a story over the weekend. They've obtained the contract with CNN that they signed with that guy, you know, the fake MAGA, the Antifa guy that they paid $35,000 to, and he signed the contract the morning of the 6th before the breach. Why would they sign a contract and pay a guy $35,000 to go walk around the National Mall and hope he'd get some footage on his handheld camera that would be worthy? You know what I mean? It seems a little odd.
They don't want to get involved with it. That's why they do.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hey, listen, thanks for the call, man. Have a good one. All right, we're going to take our break. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. I'm Brian Craig. Steve will be joining us after the break here at the bottom of the hour. We will be back right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi, this is George Corey of the Soul Authority. In this time of social distancing and sheltering in place, many people have been forced to neglect their feet. We at the Soul Authority are making it possible for you to still take care of your feet while remaining in your home, as we will send a doctor to your house for all of your podiatric needs. The best part of all is that Medicare pays for this visit. So, if you're a Medicare recipient, give the Soul Authority a call today at 954-597-7060. That's 954-597-7060. Don't let social distancing stop you from taking care of your feet. Call the Soul Authority today.
If you suffer with diabetes, there's a 25% chance that you'll develop a foot ulcer that can lead to severe health consequences, including amputation. At the Soul Authority, at little or no cost, you can receive your very own therapeutic shoes.
Hey guys, thanks so much for coming back. Sorry I had to restart the stream.
To one pair of quality diabetic shoes.
If you don't mind, give me a thumbs up.
Call the Soul Authority today, 954-597-7060.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian Craig. This is the Steve Kane Show. Steve, you joining us? You with us?
I'm here.
Oh, man. Huge story out of Politico this morning. Politico's... for those that are just tuning in, Politico is reporting that nearly 3 dozen Democrats in the House of Representatives, that's almost 40 people, have signed a letter to take the nuclear codes away from Biden. They don't want Biden to have the authority to give an order to launch nuclear weapons.
You say the reason for this is what?
That his mind is the cognitive decline. They're scared. I mean, yeah.
The real story is what came just before that, when Biden made that speech. I forget. I don't know.
Well, I don't think it's It's
a whole new era. I mean, this is nothing like all the things we used to laugh at during the campaign and all that. This is not kiddie land anymore. See, he's seriously impaired. I thought he was going to walk off the stage and crash. I didn't know what was going to happen.
Well, in the days of, I haven't heard anybody talk about nuclear weapons in the government in like 25 years, and I never, even when Mario Cuomo was running around and these liberals and John Kerry talking about denuclearization and all this nonsense during the Reagan era, they never suggested taking control of the weapons away from whoever the president was, Reagan, Bush, whoever. This is new.
Well, let me ask you this. Do you think perhaps what they have in mind is to tip the world off that the whole world would be a lot safer if Joe Biden
didn't have the nuclear codes? I think something's... No.
Nuclear codes. I think it's about... he's not in control. The speech that you're referring to that prompted all of this mishigas was basically the story of his really being out of it. I mean, we make jokes about it and what's going on.
Yeah.
Who knows that? But this was a whole new ball game.
Well, they knew, I mean, obviously they've known for a long time that he had cognitive issues.
I think is what they would...
Nah, I think something... I don't agree with that. I think what's going on is this. Obviously they knew that he had severe mental impairments when he was running and the inauguration and everything. Something has happened, though, in the last few days that has scared them. And they don't want to do the 25th Amendment. They don't want to do the 25th Amendment for whatever reason. They don't want to do that. And... these Democrats now are. It's one thing when he was locked in the basement. Now he's in the White House. There are meetings he should be. There was a story 2 weeks ago that Kamala Harris was doing something that no vice president has ever done. She's been doing the phone calls with the foreign heads of state, which vice presidents never do. And I don't think he can do the phone calls. And I think they're nervous, they're scared, and if there's an incident, what he might do. This is big. This is pretty scary. I've never seen anything like this at this level before, and they've woken up to it.
What we can agree on is they're definitely trying to catch our attention, and they have done that. And it's nice to see Democrats do something that that unselfish.
Well, why not? Why would they not Why would they not just have him resign and plug in Kamala Harris?
Not that easy.
Well, I'll tell you why.
Why?
Jill Biden. Jill Biden is, she is not going to let,
Biden has no influence.
She has influence over her husband. She's the boss in that family. She wouldn't let him step aside. She wouldn't let him resign and let Kamala take over.
But I don't think she has definitive influence
over him.
No, I don't think so.
Oh yeah, here's the thing. Okay, the Bidens are racist. We know this, but from Biden's past, and she had to walk behind our first African American first lady for 8 years, and she's not giving that up to let Kamala become president. I would say Jill Biden's got a lot of influence.
Based on what I saw yesterday, they're not going to have a lot of choice. When you bear in mind, that what we saw yesterday out of Joe Biden is as good as he is going to look.
Oh.
That's when you really get the perspective, because that's what this is about. They're trying to catch the notice of the American people, saying it is not safe for Joe Biden to be. I think it was more symbolic than anything else, but they were trying to catch the attention of the leadership of their party and let them know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's yeah.
Transition is about.
Well, it's pretty scary. All right, let's take a call or two. 1-888-GO-CANE-1. That's our number. 888-465-2631. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good morning. You're on the air.
This is good morning in Douglas, Georgia. How are you, Steve?
Oh, things have been I'm good. How are you doing today? How are things up there in Georgia?
Well, we need to.
Hello.
Our governor. Yeah, we're gonna have to put primary.
Well, what's on your mind? What made you pick up the phone today?
About Biden. He is losing it really bad.
Did you see him yesterday? Did you see him yesterday?
I tried.
Because I think a lot of this is.
I'm laying up here. I'm laying up here in a hospital.
Well.
Oh, what are you in the hospital for? What are you?
Sorry to hear that.
COVID.
Really?
Yes.
How'd you get it?
When did you get it?
Emergency room. About 2 weeks ago. I'm past the contagious period, but I'm hoping to get out today and go home.
Let me ask you, which of the treatment protocols that have been created because of President Trump and Operation Warp Speed did they use on you?
First, they used the BAM, and then there's the let's see, I can't remember the other one that they.
Were you really sick? I mean, was it hairy for you at all, or what was it like? The worst point?
Where I couldn't, I was having some serious symptoms, but it wasn't.
Did you ever feel that you weren't going to make it?
There was one point that I was not sure, but that was just for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And so.
How did you get it from someone?
I really had it better than a lot of people.
Well, do you know who you got it from?
I got it from the ER.
From the what?
From the emergency room.
You got it from the emergency? You got COVID in the emergency room?
I believe when I was in the waiting room at the emergency room is when I got infected.
What were you doing in the ER waiting room?
I was had a possible CVA.
Okay, whatever that is. Okay, so you were in the emergency room for something else, and you think you got COVID then? Oh my goodness. Well, I'm glad you're doing well. How old are you?
I'll be 60 Saturday.
Okay, go. Happy birthday. I'm glad you made it.
Good guy.
Hey. Well, I love.
What is your name again, sir?
Bernard Polk.
I couldn't understand that. Bernard?
Your name?
Yes, sir.
Bernard, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay, Bernard, how long have you been listening to the show?
About 2 months.
Hello?
Yeah, you said 2 months.
You're a newbie.
Oh yeah, but I love the show. Brian does a good job, and when you can get in there, it gets that much better.
Yeah, that's good. Well, we're glad you beat the COVID. You're going to get out of the hospital in a couple days. You'll be home, and then you'll be hopefully immune. Are you married?
I'm divorced.
Oh, divorced. Okay, so you don't have a wife at home to give it to. Okay, well, good. Well, hey, listen, thanks for calling, and glad you're doing well, and happy birthday. Wow, 60 years old. Oh, I let him go, Steve. I let him go already. I already let him go, Steve. I'm sorry. Well, I didn't know. You're not here. I can't see.
They're listening. I was simply going to invite Bernard to call again and keep us abreast of how his condition is going.
Yeah.
And give us a call tomorrow. Check in with us.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. That's very good. I'm glad he is doing well. All right, listen. Let's take our last break of the second hour. If you're on hold, don't go anywhere. We'll go right back to our calls after this very, very quick break. Don't go anywhere.
Got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Hi,
This is Dr. Mitchell Mittez. I'm excited to
Steve Kane
announce
Show.
that my practice has morphed into the BioStation.
Hey, hold on.
And will
Steve
be
Kane Show.
formerly known as BioStation West Delray. To all of my
Hold on.
existing patients, please be assured that you will continue
Oh, man.
to receive the same quality and personalized care that you are accustomed to. The only change is to a spectacular new location and an incredible array of anti-aging, health, and wellness modalities. We will be located at Atlantic Avenue and Lyons Road in the Joseph's Market Shopping Center, directly across from the Delray Marketplace. Call me at my new office number, 561-320-8893. That's 561-320-8893.
I'm Dr. Janae Lomaski. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist. 2020 has been the year of coronavirus. So many of us have been locked in our homes for long periods of time.
I'm
bring on severe depression, anxiety,
I'm texting
and panic. Other
with
worries
somebody
such
from
as
Right Side
job
Broadcasting,
security,
who we
money,
may have on the show soon.
as well as families unable to see one another. These are all
They were texting me
significant
about meeting up at
effects on
CPAC, and since I can't go to
If you
CPAC,
are experiencing these difficulties, give me a call at 561-777-2021.
my wife is my moderator, but she's not in here right now.
777-2021. Medicare and TRICARE accepted.
There's a story at the Gateway Pundit.
Telehealth, as well as in-office appointments. Give me a call at 561-777-2021.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, inventor of My Pillow. Here to tell you about my Giza Dream bed sheets. I made sure that they would be everything you'd ever want in a sheet set. I started with the world's finest cotton called Giza.
Steve Kane
It's
Show.
only grown in a region where the Sahara Desert, the Nile
Steve
River,
Kane Show.
and the Mediterranean Sea all meet. The long staple cotton makes my Giza Dream sheets ultra soft and durable. They come with extra wide pillowcases to fit over any pillow and extra deep pockets to fit over any mattress. Not only that, they come with my 60-day money-back guarantee and a 10-year warranty. And now you can get the best sheets ever for the best price ever. When you buy one of my Giza Dream bed sheet sets, you'll get another one absolutely free. I personally guarantee that they'll be the most comfortable sheets you'll ever own.
Use the promo code Kane at checkout, and when you buy a set of Giza Dream Sheets, get a second set free. But you've got to use the promo code Kane, K-A-N-E,
Hey, Debbie.
at mypillow.com or call 1-800-716-4879.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for W.
All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig, Steve Kane here, and only one opening on the board.
Lindell there doing that spot for My Pillow. What a terrible thing they're doing to him. The powers that will come, the dark forces are really lined up against Mike, and he's going to be fine. He sends his best to all you Steve Kane listeners, and keep those orders coming. Every time you get sheets, pillows, whatever it is from My Pillow, you're supporting Donald Trump, and you're supporting America, and you're supporting the Steve Kane Show, all of which you bundle into one. And on behalf of both Donald and Mike, I want to thank all of you Steve Kane listeners who just, we've been sending all kinds of records over there. So keep that up, and it's going to a good cause.
Yeah, and you know, last night on Newsmax TV, Greg Kelly had Alan Dershowitz on, and Alan Dershowitz was defending Mike Lindell in this ridiculous lawsuit against him because he's supporting Trump. They're out there trying to cancel him and cancel his company, and I guess cancel the hundreds of jobs of people that work at the My Pillow facility in Minnesota too. And it's you know, the My Pillows are becoming almost like a legal defense fund. I mean, he's lost $65 million already since the in the last couple of weeks.
They're like collector's items. They're starting to be a collectible market because they're not as we had hoped. They've been getting snatched up all around. I started with baseball cards, and I'm ending with pillowcases.
Did you hear what Chuck Schumer said about the people in Texas that have been suffering? Oh. He said, I hope they learn their lesson. I mean, can you imagine?
I'd be embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed to know that he was representing my...
Yeah. Oh, God.
for the political party that I support.
Oh my goodness.
What a disgrace.
Yeah, what a lowlife. I mean, what a terrible, heartless. People are dead. Children are dead. The one kid froze to death in his mobile home. And Chuck, I hope they learned a lesson. Don't oppose the green agenda. This is what happens to you. What an uncaring sociopath. Yeah. All right, listen, we've only got one. Yeah, we've only got one opening on the board, but I'm going to tell you, Steve, when we take our break at the top, you got to have Tyler reboot and reconnect your computer because you're on a delay that is longer than normal. So we're having a little bit. You sound. You can wait till the top. But you can wait till the top of the hour, but we're a few seconds off. All right. Good morning. You're on the radio. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Once, twice. All right. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Yeah, y'all mentioned something about those military codes and stuff. One of them, they had mentioned one time before. Pelosi, she said something about when Trump was being let out that they were so afraid he was going to use them.
No, that's a little different. Okay, no, that's different. Pelosi made a comment about Trump and the nuclear codes as kind of like a throwaway in an interview and an anti-Trump rant. What has happened now is different. And this is being reported in Politico, which is a left-wing news publication. You can also find this story at thegatewaypundit.com. And also Hot Air has the story. What Politico is reporting, nearly 36 House Democrats have signed an official letter recommending that control over the nuclear arsenal be taken away from Joe Biden. That's different than some throwaway joke in an interview from Pelosi about Trump. That's like an official act of Congress they're trying to get going here. Big difference. And it's it's the leader of their party. Joe Biden is the lead. These are Democrats. This wasn't a group of Republicans. These were nearly 36 House Democrats signed a letter to take control of the nuclear arsenal away from Biden. And they said, what one man, they don't say because he's suffering from dementia, they say one man should not have such authority. But this is much different than...
Problem before.
No.
Well, what they need to do before they put people like that into office is check them over thoroughly before they get into office because, that can be very scary.
Well, they did. They saw what we saw. They just didn't know how bad it was. Something's happened. And it's more than the speech this week. Something's happened.
His situation is a degenerative situation, which means it will, over time, by definition, get progressively worse.
My guess would be, now again, we don't know. Now, and another thing significant about this, you hear Trump say this a lot. Democrats always stick together. For nearly 36 Democrats to get together like this, that's not sticking together. That's very unusual. My guess is what happened was this. Now, this is just a guess because we don't know, okay? It wasn't the speech. I think that there's been incidents where he's been in the White House where he's forgotten he's the president.
Well, because we haven't seen.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not privy to.
No, but my guess is that he was walking around the White House looking for Barack, thinking he was vice president still, or maybe senator. I think there's been moments where he's forgotten he's the president while he's been in the White House, and it's got to be something big for them to make a move like this.
Well, they need to do something because
it is scary. All right, take care. And I hope President Trump brings this up in his speech at CPAC Sunday. Because if I've seen the story, President Trump knows everything that's going on. Okay, so, but if I've seen it, he's seen it. Oh, by the way, this thing with Tiger Woods, President Trump was on Fox last night talking about Tiger Woods. He did a whole interview about Tiger Woods last night on Fox News, President Trump. I was surprised. What do you think happened there with Tiger Woods, Steve?
I tried to get you all night. I was trying to get you and Janae.
Yeah.
For the night, my phone was...
About Tiger Woods?
Yeah, because
really?
Story first broke. You had to be watching when the story first broke. It was very weird. The sheriff called a press conference, and then
I saw it.
They were not giving straight answers to the questions. And then all of a sudden they started talking in Spanish.
Well, it's California.
Spanish listeners, No, it was more than that. It was like they were trying to take some of the story that had become public. They were trying to take it back or try to clean it up, is what they were.
Yeah.
That's the feeling I had. And then the next time around, they were coordinated a little better. They didn't want anybody to think he'd been drinking, which, I don't know, he was on his way to some kind of professional fun.
I don't think he was drinking. Well, President Trump did a whole interview with Katie Pavlich last night, like 15 or 20 minutes, just talking about Tiger Woods. I watched every second of it, because if Trump's talking, I don't care what he's talking about. I'm watching, And he was talking about Tiger's got severe back problems and how he won the Masters even with the back problems. He's probably on severe painkillers. And my guess would be he was taking the painkillers, and that's what caused the accident. Would be my guess. I mean, we don't know, but that was a strange accident.
If anybody saw the original footage when the story first broke, my exposure to the breaking story was intermittent, so I don't really have a clear picture. But I definitely had the picture that the sheriff was on the spot and trying to sanitize it as he was telling the story for the first time. And then I was trying to get you to tell you to watch it.
I watched it. I saw it. Yeah, I wonder, this is what I wonder, because in an incident...
Impression too?
Yeah.
Impression that they were trying to revise the story on the spot?
Seemed that way, and the accident, when I saw the accident, he was on the road alone out in the middle of nowhere. That was a bad accident, and that's like a falling asleep at the wheel kind of accident. And the painkillers, which I'm sure he's on from the back problems, that can make you fall asleep at the wheel. That looks like a falling asleep at the wheel accident to me. It wasn't like a pileup on a freeway or something. He was out on a road all alone and rolled off down the cliff.
Winding road. It was. Mm-hmm. It was kind of a spiral.
Yeah.
I think that's what happened. But as to whether he was drinking or not, that's the place where they...
Well, the painkillers. The painkillers. I would say the painkillers for the back, not drinking. I'm going to say he's probably on painkillers. I like Tiger Woods. Fame is really... he had the problem with the ladies, and now this. I mean, he's had a rough life, believe it or not, for his fame. Yeah.
The ladies will get you every time.
Well, he was... remember, they thought his career was over when all that happened. He's been, All right, let's take another call or two, and then we'll break for the top. Good morning, you're on the radio. Go ahead, caller. Once. Yeah, you're on the air.
Hello.
Steve, Brian.
Good morning, my friend. Who is this?
This is Dave calling from Panama City, Republic of Panama. How you guys doing?
Hey. Good to hear from you, Dave. What's doing down in Panama?
Well, it's nice and warm over here, and the sun is shining, and it's a great morning. I want to tell you guys I appreciate your show very much, but I got a question for you. Maybe on a political...
How old are you? You don't...
Oh, yeah.
You don't remember that caller. You're not that old.
First grade at the time.
He was dying, but the political party, the Democrats, still ran him.
Yeah.
Kennedy was not in the best of shape. There was some question of whether he was going to make it through the term, and he was put up for nomination. Now we got Biden, who's clearly losing it, and they put him up for nomination. Isn't there some sort of morality involved to people that listen?
Hold on. What party is it you're talking about here? When you want to know if there's any morality involved?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, aren't you embarrassed?
Well,
go ahead.
You're talking about Democrats, man.
Right. Exactly.
So how do you use the term morality and Democrats in the same breath without breaking up?
I guess I'm just politically naive.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, live and learn. Live and listen to the Steve Kane Show and learn.
Well, listen. Listen, you're right about Roosevelt, but so far as I know, he still had some of his wits about him. I mean, I know he didn't look good in those last times you saw him, and Kennedy was under severe. I mean, he was high all the time on the pain medication, but he still had his cognitive abilities. This guy here, there's a story they told about Ronald Reagan once after he was out of office. He was at home. and I saw this on a Reagan special, and it was on the news. I don't know if it was some lying jerk or not, but they told this story that they had a fish tank at home in California with a White House at the bottom of it, and Nancy came up to him. He had the White House in his hand, President Reagan, and said, "Why is this in our fish tank?" He had forgotten he was president, they said. You know, and that's what I mean. Something has happened with Biden that we haven't seen. It's not a speech. Some things have happened in the White House that have scared them.
Yes, and my intuition is the greatest fear we face now, at least that I'm dealing with, is Kamala, not Biden.
Yeah.
One of these days get, kind of disappeared.
Yeah, resign.
Couple of years, but Kamala, she's a big unknown, and God knows how she may not be. It's unknown. She may not be that dangerous, but I'm scared to death of Kamala.
Yeah.
You got a pig in the poke when we got her.
Well, listen, Panama City, Panama. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. We got to run for the break. Thanks so much. Now, listen, Steve. During the break, you got to have Tyler reboot. You got to have Tyler reboot your computer, restart it, and then reconnect because your connection's not very good today.
Expertise in that.
Okay, we'll do it during the break. All right, third hour begins right now. It's 8 o'clock.
Dr. Janae.
I'm Alan Knight.
You love listening to Steve Kane and Brian Craig for
Steve Kane Show.
Dose of political pandemonium. Now you need a cure
Steve
for
Kane
the
Show.
resulting anxiety and depression. Join
Yeah, hold on.
us for the perfect prescription to help you cope with the world.
Saturday mornings at 11 and Sunday nights at 11.
If you want answers about love, anger, pain, and relationships, join us for your chance to call in and share your stories, tears, or laughs. Take the opportunity to tell me what's on your mind.
We've got you covered. AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network. WWNN, Pompano Beach.
Brian Craig here. You've heard me tell you how I Will Advisors can help you solve your Medicare planning problems, and they've been a valued friend of our community for years. They also want to help you retire and stay retired with the income plan you need for a successful retirement. Call Debbie Klatzoff and Dan Frazier at I Will Advisors right now, 954-753-8080. Have them do a free, customized income for life report for you today. They can help you see if you have a plan that works for you and put your mind at ease. Call Debbie and Dan at I Will Advisors, 954-753-8080, 954-753-8080. I Will Advisors, your financial planning partners. Do you think you've come in contact with someone who has coronavirus? Steve Kane's wife Lori did, and she went to any lab test now of Coral Springs to find out if she has coronavirus.
So I came into contact with somebody who tested positive for COVID, and I was scared, and I needed results right away, so I went to any lab test now.
Oh, I was, somebody messaged me and asked why I don't talk during the break so much. They messaged me this yesterday on YouTube. I wrote them back, but I'll tell you guys. There's two reasons. Most of the time, when you see me looking down and stuff during the breaks, I'm reading some articles or something that I might talk about after the break. But like right now, I'm reading a listener that called in yesterday and got pissed off. They have my phone number, and they sent me some nasty text messages. I was reading over the text messages. I might read them to Steve when we get back. So that's one reason I don't talk during the breaks, because I'm, reading over some stuff. And the other thing is, I'm talking for hours at a time on the air, and I do another show, my podcast, and I got to rest my voice and my mouth. My mouth gets tired sometimes. Right now, my jaws are a little sore. Talking on the air, it's like talking on stage. It's like doing a concert, and it takes a lot of energy out of you, and it works your mouth a lot.
Make sure you tell them you heard about them on the radio.
The Steve Kane Show is brought to you by Attorney Barry Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with
I'm not sure if Steve's reconnected. I can't tell.
Avoid probate. Call the Siegel Law Group with 9 offices throughout South Florida, from Palm Beach Gardens to Coral Gables. Call toll-free 1-855-FLA-3782.
You are listening to South Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show.
To call the show toll-free, dial 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. That's 1-888-GO-GAIN-1. And now, here's Steve.
All right, third and final hour has begun. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show. I'm Brian Craig, 6 minutes after the hour. Are you back with us, Steve?
Back with you. I'm not sure how the delay is doing.
Okay, you sound better now. You sound like you have a better connection now.
Tyler has that magic touch with touches and everything clears up.
Well, that's great.
It goes away.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, that's great. Now before we go back to the phones, I want to ask you this. I got one of our regular callers, Juan. He called in the last couple days, and we've gone back and forth. Remember, he's a good conservative guy, and ran into him once at Friendly Tire in Margate. He's a nice guy, but he's getting testy with us lately. And we had a little debate about the minimum wage the other day, and then yesterday somebody called in attacking him. Okay, and when he wasn't, he attacked him about his position, and then he called in yesterday and said something that you can't really say on the radio, so I had to let him go. He sent me a few text messages yesterday. He has my cell phone number, and he's not happy. And should I read his text messages on the air to you? Do you want to hear what you want to hear them?
Use your judgment.
Okay. Well, I'm worried about is triggering Juan because he's very upset. He's very upset. And when he was texting me, he actually mistakenly called me too. He didn't mean to call me, but he called me. Or maybe he called me on purpose and then hung up and thought better of it. But he sent me some very long text messages here. I can't read all of them, but it started off with his support of the minimum wage, and then he wrote to me. He says, "You are a mental Munchkin coward." Coward, yeah, little person.
Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, little person. And I got to tell you, I met Juan at Friendly Tire, and we're at least the same height. I might be a hair taller than him, I don't know. But he wrote me, and by the way, Juan, you're welcome to call in, okay? I don't want you to think you're not welcome to call in. I was waiting for you to call to bring this up, but anyway, he says, "You are a mental Munchkin coward who edits and hangs up on those who have legitimate disagreements and responses, which can actually make everyone think." That's him. First off, we don't edit anything on this program. Everything is live and on the radio, okay? There's no editing involved during a live broadcast. And every phone call will end in a hang-up. If I'm on a phone conversation with my wife, one of us is going to hang up on the other. Then he goes on. He says here, okay, "You're a mental Munchkin coward who edits and hangs up on those who have legitimate disagreements and responses, which can actually make everyone think." See, he can make the whole audience think, Steve.
Of course. How do you think he got his own show?
Yeah, that's right. And by Juan, you are
Doesn't have a show.
Well, he can call this show right now if he'd like. Then comments on the aforementioned. True exchange of ideas are not being able to truly happen. And he had made a comment yesterday going down a road that he had gone down before, and I told him you can't talk that way on the radio. So I hung up on him, yesterday because he was bringing up something that you can't say on the air. So I did text him back. I said, some things you can't say on the radio, right? Talking on the radio is not like sitting at home with your friends, We have standards and practices, right? Then he writes me back. He texted me again. "You would rather engage Al the John and his ilk."
Oh, right. You picked a bad example. Al the John, the average lifespan of an Al the John call is like what, 15 seconds?
Yeah. "I would mop the floor with you, and you know it."
Big guy.
I'm really regretting reading this because I know you can tell he's pissed off yesterday, and I'm just triggering him more. "Donald Trump would never walk away from engaging, but I understand you don't have his intellect, or mine, for that matter." And then he put a smiley face. Answer this. How many times has the federal minimum wage been raised in the past 25 years as opposed to the price of a Big Mac? Answer that, genius. Yes. Oh, man. Juan, call in. Come on, man. I don't want you to be upset.
We've answered the question as to why he doesn't have his own show.
I don't know. He's a good guy. I've met Juan. He's a nice guy. and and he's been calling for a long time. He's a good guy. There's something about the minimum wage triggered him. I don't know what it is.
Anyway, let me see if I can pull you out of this.
Well, let's get it. Well, you're welcome to call in, Juan. No. You're welcome to call in and defend your honor against this coward.
Or anybody else in the world that is not interested in hearing from Juan, you can call in with whatever you want to call in with.
Yeah, well, no, we have callers online. We'll go back to the phones. I thought I'd share that with you.
I'm putting together my playlist for the weekend. I try to watch at least 4 or 5 films every weekend, and I have a vast library at home. The one I picked out, I'm really looking forward to this. How about this one? You remember Bob Roberts?
Oh yeah, Tim Robbins. Yeah.
Bob Roberts, great. Well, I think one of the great political movies of all time. Comedy, just very.
Yep. Yeah.
So that's number 1 on Steve Kane's playlist for the weekend.
Okay, that's good. All right, well let's go to the phones. Only one opening on the board. All these calls are screenless. I don't know who is on any of these lines. One of them could be Juan. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning, Conservative Doug.
Oh, hey, Doug.
And then, what you said before, if that's a true story about the Democrats trying to get the football away from Biden, we're in serious trouble. I mean, how first of all, if they took it away from Biden, how the hell could they ever launch a nuclear attack? They'd have to all vote on it or something, and by the time they vote on it, the country wouldn't be here anymore. This is
well, the president has the authority to give the order to launch nuclear weapons without any consultation with anyone. Just on his own personal authority, the president at any time can launch the nuclear weapons.
Guys are out to get him that away from him. He must be really worse than we think.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the footage of him yesterday? Did you see the film footage of him yesterday at the end of his press conference?
Yes, I saw it.
He started walking off the station and he realized he didn't know where he was.
Yeah, well, he's never been bright. He's never been very articulate.
Well, you don't have to be bright to know, what's going on in front of your nose.
Yeah. I mean, definitely he's a cosmic decline. But my God, for Democrats to take the football.
No, something's happened. There's been an incident or a series of incidents that has them very concerned. Something's happened.
I'm hoping that's a fake story, but
no, it's real, and it's real. It's in Politico and elsewhere. No, it's real. I know.
We're in serious trouble. I don't know what
the story is real. The party is fake.
Yeah, buyer's remorse even from the Democrats. Unbelievable. We got to. I don't know. If he steps down and walks away, then Kamala Harris is no better.
Yeah.
It could be a lot worse. We don't know anything. I think they probably got, I'm guessing, they probably got Biden neutralized to a certain degree, and they watch him very, very, very closely. I'm more concerned, I'm looking ahead here, I'm more concerned with this pig in a poke that we got with the Vice President, Kamala Harris. God knows what she's about.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. She's, I'd be even more afraid of her. I don't think she's putting nuclear weapons on anybody, but she'll just give the country away. I don't know. We're in big trouble.
Mm-hmm.
They elected this guy.
I know. All right. Well, hey, listen. Sleep well at night, knowing Joe Biden's in charge. And 4 years. Yeah. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning to both of you guys.
Not Juan. I'm waiting for Juan. Each call could be Juan. I'm waiting.
Juan already.
Yeah, this is Richie. Listen, real quick. I walked down the street with my dogs. I come to 2 people from Illinois, neighbors, and I said to them, because I'm listening to you guys walking, and I said, did you hear that they're thinking about taking the nuclear code? And the lady went ballistic. They're Democrats. She said, he's got a stuttering problem.
A stutterer? He's a stutter. Well, then, if he's got a stuttering problem, when he gives a speech, he should do what Mel Tillis does, sing. Right? Remember, Mel Tillis had a terrible stuttering problem, but when he was singing, he didn't stutter. So Biden should be singing all the time then.
Yeah, she said that he'd be president for the next 4 years, I should get used to it, because she saw me with my Trump hat walking around.
When is he? When this thing about the stuttering? The media talk about this too. They keep saying he's a well-known stutterer. I never heard that before.
They're covering for him, and it's sad. They're the biggest problem we have here. And I got to say this to Steve as a super talk show host, and to Brian as the student of a super talk show host. I've gotten off this phone talking to you guys so angry with you guys. I didn't know what. I was blue in the face.
Of course.
I call the next day. It's only a talk show, and not that you're that. In other words, you guys are to me, you're engaging, and Steve doesn't want somebody on the phone that's going to be on the phone that's going to put people to sleep, and that's the bottom line. And that's for $15 an hour, so it hasn't been changed in years. You see how many restaurants are closing up in this country?
Yeah, but if Steve, but hold on, Richie, if Steve doesn't want people on the air who put people to sleep, why did he put Joyce Kaufman on the radio?
It got me there.
That's a good question, but you probably felt sorry for her. But you know, $15 an hour. How about all these people charging the border?
No, she got. You know how she got on the air? Seriously speaking, she was the manager of one of our sponsors. Remember the deli? Well, I think being a sponsor probably is what had something to do with it.
Gage, and don't hate Brian. He's a pretty nice person.
Well, I'm worried about Juan because when I started reading that text, I was getting because he's really pissed. When he was sending me these texts yesterday, I only shared you a little bit. They're very long, and it's kind of creepy.
Juan, I'm telling you, it's not.
Oh, Richie's been so pissed off at me. Oh, okay. All right. All right, if you're on hold, stand by. We're going to take our break, our first break of the last hour. Our number toll-free, 1-888-GO-CANE-1. We'll go to the calls after the break. I've got some more audio, some other things we haven't touched on it just quite yet. We'll be right back after this.
Brian Craig here. You've heard us talk about the great low prices Friendly Tire has on new tires and used tires. They also do tire repairs. Listen to one of our listeners talk about their experience at Friendly Tire in Margate.
Hey Brian, my name is Mike. Just wanted to call and say thank you. I had a problem with my car. I had a flat tire. It was going down really quick. I'm in Coral Springs. I had to go somewhere close by. They couldn't really fix it. So I remember you guys are talking about Friendly Mike at Friendly Tires. So I said, listen, Mike, I need a couple of tires. I told him my son. He goes, I got them. I go, I'll see you tomorrow. They were really cheap. I go,
hey, Rob, I was watching ID last night, my wife and I, and they were doing this murder case, and they were interviewing the detective in the murder case that had tried to get this guy locked up for like 10 years. He looked just like you, just a little. He looked older though. I mean, he looked about 15 years older than you, but he looked just like you. The guy could have been your brother. Yeah, I love ID.
I love you guys. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day.
Give Mike at Friendly Tire a call right now. We'll give you a quote right over the phone. 954-977-9445. 954-977.
Yeah, I mean, he looked just like you. And he had your mannerisms, too. I was shocking. You don't have a relative who's a homicide detective, do you? Yeah, we have the Discovery Plus app. Oh, my gosh.
I started with the world's finest cotton called Giza. It's only grown in a region where the Sahara Desert, the Nile River, and the Mediterranean Sea all meet. The long staple cotton makes my Giza Dream Sheets ultra soft and durable. They come with extra wide pillowcases to fit over any pillow and extra deep pockets to fit over any mattress.
He was a detective. He wasn't the killer. No, he was the homicide detective. He wasn't the murderer.
Get the best sheets ever for the best price ever. When you buy one of my Giza Dream bed sheet sets, you'll get another one absolutely free.
It was about a NASCAR pit crew guy who killed his wife and cut off her head.
Checkout, and when you buy a set of Giza Dream Sheets, get a second set free. But you've got to use the promo code KANE, K-A-N-E, at mypillow.com or call 1-800-716-4879.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWNN.
All right, welcome back. I'm Brian. Steve Kane here. One opening on the board at 1-888 Go Kane 1. All right, let's go back to the phones. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, what's your name?
How are you? This
Good
is
morning.
Karen. I like your shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Nice shirt.
Thank you.
Joe Biden. It's nothing new regarding his cognitive, decline. We all saw that during the campaign. So nothing brand new here.
No, this is brand new. No, excuse me. We have nearly 36 Democrats in the House of Representatives who have signed a letter to take control of the nuclear arsenal away from Biden. That's new and that's big.
Oh, that. I'm talking about his cognitive decline. It's not brand new. We all saw this during the campaign.
Yeah, but it's gotten worse.
I think that what we're splitting hairs with, it's gotten worse. In a word.
And the medication
You think?
can only cover up so much.
Yeah.
That's true.
I like it.
That's true.
Right.
Oh, thank you. It's on YouTube. I'm wearing a new shirt today. It's a nice shirt. Actually, I got this shirt for the cruise. It's a nice shirt. I don't know. My wife buys all my clothes, but she told me I was dressing too much like a hobo, and she bought me some new clothes, so I look like a grown up. But it's a nice shirt. It's a nice shirt.
Pain influence?
No, it's kind of like late. Well, today, my wife is usually in bed when I leave in the morning, and today I was getting ready to leave, and she woke up and she says, "Don't wear that shirt. Take it off." I said, "What am I supposed to wear?" And she went to the closet and she picked this shirt out. So it's a nice, comfortable shirt.
But that is so nice.
It is nice. It is nice.
Nice wife to do something like that.
This is not my normal type of shirt.
I have nobody to jump out of bed. And suggest that I change my shirts.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It happens.
But I have Tyler. Tyler's not big in the fashion thing yet.
Yeah. Well, you're not. Yeah.
He'll serve that purpose.
Yeah. This shirt this is a fancy shirt. This looks like a Miami shirt. Actually, it looks like I look dressed up. Actually, this is very dressed up for me. All right. Our number 1-888 Go Kane 1. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air.
Oh, hi. Just one short comment, and I want to tell you something. That man that called before said he got COVID in the emergency room. A CVA is a cerebrovascular accident, in other words, a stroke.
Oh, okay.
Okay. I want to say something. I've been trying to follow everything Biden does, just so when I come up to somebody and we have a debate about him, I'll be knowledgeable. But, China has been accused of genocide before. Some call it labor camps, some call it re-education centers, etc. But they also put women in these camps. And apparently there's organized rape of the guards, of the women. And Biden has said that we cannot hold China to the same standards
Well, yeah, I played this on the air last week. What he said last week. And I don't know if I'll see if I have the soundbite still. It was last week I played it. I'll look during the break and see if I have it. But what he said was, he was talking about what you're talking about, and several other examples of Chinese human rights abuses. And he said, President Xi, it's a different culture. He's got to do what he does to stay in office, and we can't judge him based on our standards. It's very crazy.
Well, that's what I thought. This man is really, or else he's really going out of his way to protect himself if he ever really gets caught on all his affairs with China, But anyway, and I may have a surprise for you tomorrow. I have to go check it out just to be sure I'm right. I checked it out with 3 people yesterday, but I've got to go again to see with my own eyes, and I'm going to call you tomorrow because I may have a surprise. I don't like it, but then again, you may like it a lot.
What? She hung up.
Suspense?
She hung up. She's got a surprise we're not going to like? I don't like that at all. Oh my goodness. What's going on today?
We have a surprise. We have a surprise coming up that I'm not at liberty to discuss yet, involving a new sponsor, a really exciting sponsor.
Oh yeah. Now I got to tell you, this is amazing thing. You've had a roof leak for quite some time, and you had someone come out. We'll tell you guys about them more next week, but they came out and did an inspection of your roof, and you've got leaks all over your roof. It's amazing your house is still standing. Rainy season's coming up. You got your roof looked at just in time, Steve. You would have been in trouble. Did I lose you? I think I lost Steve. Now listen, I'm going to take our break, and when we get back, hopefully we'll get Steve back, because I don't know where Steve went. I lost Steve there. Maybe the roof is still leaking. It hasn't been leaked yet. It's leaked down on his equipment. I don't know. All right, listen, we're going to take our break, and then when we get back, there's a lot more to talk about. All right, I'm Brian. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after this.
Brian Craig here. When it comes to auto repair, you want a garage that you can trust. Someone that will only do work on your car when your car needs work. Introducing Champagne Automotive in Boca Raton,
lost the connection.
latest sponsor of the Steve Kane Radio Show. Tom called in on the radio to tell us about his experience with Champagne Automotive.
Hi, this is Tom from Tamarack.
Hey, Tom from Tamarack, what's up?
I just want to tell you guys something. I spent the last 2 days trying to get brakes for my car. I was leaving the house yesterday to go try another place that had a lower price. They wanted $800 for the brakes. And that advertisement came on for Champagne. I live in Western Tamarack. I said, let me take a drive up there. Well, I was almost blown over.
I don't have that Biden clip.
Old school these people are.
Old school, that's really the term that really describes it.
But let me tell you, the guy I had gone to previously won $800. He says, well, you need to change your power steering fluid. And Ed, the owner, put the car up in the lift, pulled the wheels, and says, you don't need brakes. And I about fell over.
Wow. Well, tell me the end of the story. You got me hooked.
So it wasn't that your vehicle was misdiagnosed at the other place. You were dealing with a crook.
Oh, absolutely. This guy wanted to sell me everything but a washing machine. I don't want that.
Now, this is our new sponsor. We have wanted for a long time.
Steve has a tile roof. I don't have a tile roof. I've got a shingle roof.
Auto repair. That is the most difficult category for us to find.
I'm not in the income bracket to get the Spanish tile roof because it costs about 5 times more than the regular shingle roof.
And we found Champagne Automotive. Ed, who's the owner, is a listener of the program. They come very, very highly recommended. So I appreciate you calling in and telling us the good story. Now, Champagne Automotive, they're in Boca off Spanish River Boulevard.
Oh, yeah.
Immediately west of Dixie Highway. The number is 561.
Well, Steve has a fancy house. I have a tiny little house.
8101 561-245.
But I have more space in mine because I have fewer people in mine. Yeah.
The Steve Kane
Steve's
Show
got
is brought
kids,
to you by
grandkids.
Attorney Siegel at the Siegel Law Group. Are you concerned with the distribution of your assets at the time of your passing? Avoid probate. Call the Siegel
Juan's
Law
got to be so
Group
pissed
at
off at me. I was really
South Florida, from Palm
felt like I
Beach
made a
Gardens
mistake
to
reading the
Coral
text.
Gables. Call toll free 1-855-FLA-3782.
Listen to the Steve Kane Show on iHeartRadio. Just search for WWN.
All right, we are back. Are you back with us, Steve? We lost you for a minute. No, we still lost Steve. We have lost the connection to Steve, so I'm going to have to try to get him as the show goes on. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Hi, Brian.
Hey, how you doing?
Fine.
You always assume you're on. Yes, if I say hello to you, you're on. Yes, you're on the air.
I just wanted to say to Steve, he has reason for being concerned about Kamala because there are people who have worked for her who says that not only is she just outright nasty to her staff, but she really doesn't have a rapport with even people even people who are important. She's kind of rough around the edges and very inexperienced. So he does have concern with regards there. As for Schumer, and I've been talking to some people from Texas recently. They most of them are saying that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Texas has started using more wind equipment, windmills, and everything. A lot of that renewable energy failed them.
Yeah, that's right.
The course of the weather changing there, and he actually, when he spoke, he misspoke a lot. He really doesn't have the facts, and what he is saying right now is an embarrassment.
Well, yeah. When Schumer said, I hope they learned their lesson. I mean, that is just like they got what they deserved when people have died. And I was watching some people that have. I saw one woman, poor working woman. She lost her home to water damage, and she spent
her life savings to put her kids up in a hotel room so they could be dry. And here's Schumer with a grin and smile in his voice. I hope they learned their lesson, or did, you know, I mean, my goodness.
It's the same with Joy Reid. They say things off the cuff. They say things that have no basis in fact. It's really disgusting because it's terrible to have a group of people like that.
Let me, you know, there's an unrelated story. I hadn't gotten to it yet, but since you're on the phone and you're black, I wanted to ask you about this. Okay, I'm going to read you the headline, and then I'll give you some details. A runner from UCLA has been banned from his cross-country team at UCLA after a video and text messages shows him using the N-word when he found out his girlfriend cheated on him with an African American. So he was upset that his girlfriend had been cheating on him, which means she had sex with another man, which freaks guys out. And the guy she cheated with was black. He used the N-word in private in anger. All right, not that I'm endorsing the use of the N-word at all, but he used it in private. He was recorded. They released it. Now he's been thrown off the cross-country team. What do you think about that, Rolanda? I mean, you know, should someone who uses language like that you think Biden's never used that word, by the way? You know, of course he has. Of course he has. Yeah.
Yeah.
What should happen? Guy says it in private. He's and by the way, in an angry state because his girlfriend was having sex with another guy. Should he lose his spot on the team for that?
Now, I hadn't heard about this. Is this guy a Caucasian?
Of course, yes. If he was black, it wouldn't be an issue.
First of all, yeah, it's true. First of all, to be quite honest with you, Brian, as far as race is concerned, and as far as certain things in the United States, given our history, I think this cancel culture is bothering me because, to be honest with you, I know for a fact black people say certain things about white people, okay, that are not exactly complimentary or nice. And
well, look at this thing we were talking about the other day. Coke, this new program at Coca-Cola, they are making employees watch. They say all white people are born racist. That means a little baby in the womb is racist. A little newborn baby in the hospital is racist. That's a pretty terrible. And by the way, if we're born that way, like they tell us with gays and stuff, can you change the way? That's the way white people are born. Shouldn't we just accept them? You know.
The bottom line is, I know some African Americans that are quite racist, and even if a white person were not.
So you wouldn't throw the kid off the team. You wouldn't throw the kid off the team because he used the N-word in private and in a fit of rage because his girlfriend was having sex with a black guy cheating on him.
Well, to be honest with you, no, because it's something that, to be honest with you, being that we are human, that would happen. Okay, it would be all the same if it were a black guy and the woman and his woman or whoever were cheating on him with a white man.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's not a racial slur towards whites that's equivalent to the N-word, is there? What are they?
There's certain things that people say about white people that are still different.
Oh, can you think of any? What do black people say about us in private? Can you think of any?
Quite a few things. Bring.
Oh, I'd love to hear an inside world. Okay. Well, you know, I remember Paula Deen, the celebrity chef years ago. She was totally canceled. She lost everything because she used the N-word. And what had happened was there was some racial discrimination civil lawsuit going on. She was under oath, and back before she was rich and famous, she was a bank teller. And she was robbed at the bank, and the bank robber was black and put a gun to her forehead. Give me the money. And she was angry, and she used the N-word describing the bank robber that put a gun to her head to the cops when they arrived. And that was 100 years ago, 50 years ago. It came out in a deposition that she used the N-word describing a man who put a pistol to her forehead, and she lost everything. She lost her TV career. She lost her everything over at Paula Deen.
Everything, because recently I know some people when I went to a restaurant.
The restaurant's nothing. Her big money was in her brand deals that she was doing with all these national advertising campaigns. The restaurant's a sideline. She lost her Food Network jobs. She lost all her endorsements and commercials she was doing for pots and pans and other things. She lost millions and millions of dollars, you know, and I don't use the N-word, but I'll give someone a pass if they're in anger at somebody who put a loaded gun to their forehead.
Exactly, and to me, a lot of these people act like they're not human. But I did hear the conversation with Chuck Schumer, and I thought it was despicable. As for those House members who are right now concerned, they have reason to be, Brian. I've been listening at him gradually, the president, and he's getting worse and worse. And all of us right now, and I think you said it the other day, should be concerned. The things he said about China, the things that he has said about, he said even in public, and he doesn't complete a sentence,
yeah,
and it's not coherent. This is getting...
Yeah, but something happened, and like I was telling Steve in the last hour, to me, they've probably had moments where he's forgotten he's president in the White House. Something big has happened.
And I think he did it in the presence of many of those House members, of things when he called them in on private conversations. They are right now.
Yeah, they're trying to. What they're not saying that he's out of it. They're trying to act as if there's some nuclear disarmament movement going on. You know, I mean, come on, what is this? The 70s nuclear disarmament? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, or even the 60s. But he is getting progressively worse. And they do need to start talking now, because I don't care how the media covers up. Anderson Cooper can't cover.
Well, okay, here's the thing though, Verlanda, okay? Obviously Kamala expects to be president and Biden step down at some point, but this is the thing. If he resigns later in his term, like after the midterms, and she becomes president and finishes out his term, she's still entitled to 2 more terms of her own. If he resigns now, or they invoke the 25th Amendment now, it's not far enough into his presidency. She'd only get 1 more term on her own. So as much as she wants to be president yesterday, they want to keep her vice president as long as they can, so she can be 2 more terms.
Yeah. I personally think, believe it or not, there are people in that party that do not like her. They don't like the fact that.
Well, there's a famous picture of her. Nancy Pelosi is running the show right now. Nancy Pelosi hates her, and I'll tell you what I mean. Kamala Harris made her way by being Willie Brown's girlfriend. Everyone knows this. She was his mistress. He was the mayor of San Francisco, and a lot of people don't remember Willie Brown. Back in the Clinton era, Willie Brown was like the biggest Democrat, one of the biggest leading Democrats in the country, the mayor of San Francisco. It was very strange, a guy from San Francisco having so much power. So there's famous photographs of him at a banquet, and Kamala was sitting next to him, and so was Pelosi. And there's no way in hell that this snob Pelosi has any respect for Willie Brown's girlfriend. You know what I mean? And it's got to make her physically ill that Willie Brown's girlfriend is vice president right now, and not Hillary.
And chances are she knew Willie Brown's wife. And
oh yes.
And distasteful.
Yeah, exactly. And as low-life as Democrats are, women do not like homewreckers.
No, they do not.
For good reason.
And they do not look kindly upon you. That's correct.
And she did something. I mean, she went. It's bad enough when someone like Willie Brown has an affair. He was parading around with her as his girlfriend out in public at events with his wife there too. So
it's called disrespect.
Yeah.
She's one of those women that, and I've mentioned this to you before, she's one of those women that will go along with that.
The first time, I promise you this, the first time Nancy Pelosi met Kamala Harris was as Willie Brown's mistress at one of those San Francisco Democrat rubber chicken dinners, probably the one that we see in that footage all the time. And she's got to be sick about it. I mean, there's a photograph of Nancy Pelosi when she was like around 20 with President Kennedy while he was president, and she's going to let Willie Brown, and she's got to answer to Willie Brown's girlfriend now. I bet she didn't even talk to her. I bet she didn't even talk to her at that dinner because she was beneath her.
A lot of people are saying that, and she has a reputation, Brian. I've heard some things about her. She has a reputation for being nasty.
Really?
It's nasty, and yeah, she explodes and gets nasty.
You know, I never really paid attention to her until the Supreme Court hearings with Trump's nominees. When I first really paid attention to her, Yeah, and she's not a pleasant. You're right, she's not pleasant. All right, Valanda, take care. Thanks for the call. All right, I've not been able to reconnect with Steve. I'm trying to, but it's not working. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Good morning. I love your shirt. It looks fantastic.
Well, thank you very much.
You should definitely let your wife dress you more.
Yeah, I should. I should. This is not something I would ever pick out for myself to wear. Never.
Great.
Thank you.
I have a couple of things, if that's okay.
Well, you're on the air. Go ahead.
So my first thing is to talk about Mr. Romney. If he's seeing in his state what I'm seeing in my state, he should be concerned, because I live in Pennsylvania, and there's...
Yeah. Well, this thing that I was talking about, Mitt Romney said, let me play the clip, because I played it in the first hour. Mitt Romney gave an interview yesterday. This is the clip.
I'm sure he will. He has by far the largest voice and a big impact in my party. I don't know about his family members, whether they intend to do that, but I expect he will continue playing a role. I don't know if he'll run in 2024 or not, but if he does, I'm pretty sure he will win the nomination.
Okay, and what about that I find interesting is it makes me very suspicious, because Mitt Romney doesn't seem to mind the fact that President Trump's going to win the nomination, and he hates Trump worse than Pelosi. So why is he so calm? Is Mitt Romney planning something with these never Trumpers? He's just too...
They probably are, but from the people that I talk to, now I'm just an average, everyday American. We see what's going on. Just because we're not saying nothing now doesn't mean it's not going to come back to bite all of them later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. Hey, listen, appreciate the call. Thanks. Oh, she had something else. She had two things. That was one. What was the second? Since you complimented my shirt, I'll let you do the second.
Joe Biden with the coat.
Mm-hmm.
Your one caller was right. That's exactly what they did in Germany. It's like the Democrats are playing exactly from the German handbook.
Yeah.
Exactly. Play by play.
Well, this is what a lot of people are talking about. This is not unique to me. I've heard others talk about this on Newsmax TV and even on Fox. Is Hindenburg was checked out like Biden, and that's when Hitler came in. And there's been a lot of comparisons to the Capitol breach and the Reichstag, because after the Reichstag fire, that's when the National Socialists, the Nazis, went out and did a purge of their political opposition. And firmed up their power. So we're not calling the Democrats Nazis, but there's some political tactics that the Nazis used that some people see being used today in the breach and with Biden.
Well, I can tell you what I've seen lately in PA is flags flying upside down.
Mm-hmm.
Two flags that I've never seen before. One of them was just a solid navy blue flag with a ring of stars, and the other one was just red and white stripes. And I haven't been able to find out what they mean.
The blue one with the stars, that sounds like, is that maybe a Navy or a Coast Guard flag? I don't know. I don't know. It seems familiar. I have to see it to get a picture, but that one does seem familiar. All right, listen, I gotta run, but thanks for the call, Pennsylvania. If you're on hold, stand by. It's 45 minutes after the hour. We'll take our last break of the day, come back with the Gold Report right after this. My name's Brian Craig. Don't go anywhere.
An outrageous fortune for your tires. Go easy on your budget and buy your tires.
Steve Kane Show. Hey, hold on. Hey there. All right, and it's that time where we check in with William Youngerman from William Youngerman Incorporated with the Morning Gold Precious Metals Report. William Youngerman, how are the metals looking today?
Opportunities and on kind of like a rotating basis. It's very interesting what we're seeing in the precious metals. Normally we expect all of them to go up and down together, but what we've seen over the last few days and even weeks is that they seem to be rotating in opportunities for us. Yesterday we saw pretty much all the metals down, but not dramatically on gold. Gold the previous day was up, and so we saw gold close yesterday at $1,806.50, which was down $4. Silver was down 45 cents, $27.65. Platinum was down $35 at $1,231. And palladium was down $57 at $2,224. Pretty much right across the board down. Today we got a little bit of a different scenario. Gold down, silver unchanged, and platinum and palladium both up. And we have seen that in the past, and that's a reflection of the perception of whether the money is going into the pure metal of gold and silver or into industrial or inflationary metals such as platinum or palladium. So we're going to see this rotation from time to time, but it just gives us an opportunity to take advantage of adding to our portfolio and rounding out our portfolios with, for instance, platinum or palladium when they're getting hit on the downside, and the same thing. So today we've got this scenario holding right now. Gold down $9.50 at $1,797, while silver is unchanged at $27.65, but platinum is way back up $21 at $1,252, and palladium is up $9 at $33. Wow. These dips, I think gold anything under $1,800 for gold is probably a great buying opportunity. Silver shows strong support at $27 and above, and platinum seems to have good support at around $1,200. So those are your lower end of your trading ranges that you want to watch out for.
When someone comes in and buys platinum and palladium, because those are industrial, what form do they come in? Are they in coins, platinum and palladium?
They are in coins. The most popular is platinum coins and bars, but they both come in both forms. Palladium more likely is easier to buy and more affordable in the bar form. But platinum is available in several different countries which make platinum coins. And, of course, we have the platinum bars also.
Yeah. Okay, now, listen, guys. William Youngerman's store is open weekdays 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and the number over there is 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. Online, WilliamYoungerman.com. The address, 150 East Palmetto Park Road. That's on the first floor of the Bank of America building, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of Palmetto Park Road in Boca. All right, William Youngerman, we'll talk tomorrow. All right, take care, take care. All right, let's go back to our phones. You're on the radio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh, hey, Wheezy, how you doing?
I'm good. I want to answer your question of the last African-American lady. I'm just going to put uncle, and you can figure out the rest about her. I want to answer that question. Does that guy have a right to say what he wanted to say about that thing in his own house? Yes, he does. Should he be fired? No, he shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. What thing? What guy? I don't wait.
Ask that African American woman, should that guy lose his thing on the team because he said the N-word?
Oh, okay. What happened was, for those that are just tuning in, a cross-country runner who's Caucasian at UCLA. He found out his girlfriend cheated on him. The guy she had sex with behind his back is African American. In a private conversation and fit of rage, he described him using the N-word. And his friend that he was venting to had a recording of this, released it, and he's been tossed off the cross-country team. Okay, so you think he should be on the team or off the team?
He should be on the team.
Okay.
Because if you knew half of the names that I'd be calling you, not you, but Trump and everything else, I'd be kicked off everything that I'd be able to do.
You use racial slurs? You use racial slurs about Trump and me? Use racial slurs?
I've used every nasty name in the world about Trump.
What's an example of a now again we're on the radio. What's a racial slur? What's a racial slur towards white people?
Privacy in my home. I wouldn't use them out in public. No, I would not.
But when is the last time you used a racial? Have you used a racial slur describing me or just Trump?
You and Trump.
Really? When's the oh my goodness. When is the last time you used an anti-white racial slur?
As far as I'm concerned, you're QAnon. Do you like it?
No, I know what that is, and that's not me. That's not a racial slur. That's not a racial slur. That's not a racial slur. Do you what about like white boy and stuff? Is that like those kind of things? White boy?
Something that you could eat soup with.
Eat soup with? A cracker. Call me a cracker? Why would you use a racial slur describing me and then laughing about it?
Why did you ask me if you're going to get mad about it?
No, why would you? I'm not mad about it. Why would you use a racial slur describing me or President Trump and then laugh and think it's funny?
And the conspiracy things that you be saying.
You can call us liars, but why do you have to inject a racial slur into it? And I imagine there's some profanity when you say cracker. You just don't say cracker.
The thing about it is, I don't curse. You never heard me try. I don't have to worry about cursing on air or anything because I don't curse.
Mm-hmm.
Curse a woman. I'm a Christian. And I actually live by it.
So when you've described me as a cracker, who are you talking to?
My niece.
Your niece. So like what's the sentence when you use the racial slur cracker describing me to your niece? What?
Yeah, you're not gonna get me into saying a bunch of racial stuff.
Oh, so there's others. Oh.
No, I said you're not gonna get me to say racial things because I sit around saying those mean things. They're not nice. So no, I do not sit around saying those things, but I have said some really nasty things about President Trump. Yes, I
Why?
Take them back, but
President Trump saved your life with the COVID treatments.
Kim, Trump did not save my life. God saved my life. Trump did not save my life.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second here. Hold on a second here. Trump developed he put in place Operation Warp Speed, which
the scientists when they did it. Trump did nothing to save all these people.
No. Because of President Trump, the COVID treatments that saved your life were accessible to you in the hospital. He saved your life, and you still hate him. Hey, listen, Wheezy, I got to run, but thanks for the call. Oh, on the line, we have Richard Pearl, host of Richard Pearl on Politics. Hey, Richard Pearl, good morning.
Hey, I just caught the end of something. I don't know if it was this last moment or if it was a bit ago. There's too many people hating this country, hating Donald Trump, hating their lives. They're blaming other people for their own existence. And it's also taught at early ages. We have a big problem in this country. We have the Chinese taking over the world, and the Chinese love their country, and they love the way they do politics. Well, they don't love their politics, but they love the country, and they don't talk bad about their country.
Steve Kane Show.
It seems like so many people in this country hate this country. You can't make something great if you hate it. You can't make a country better if all you can do is try to tear it apart. And trying to separate everybody doesn't work. And I just heard a little piece. Again, I don't know when that played, but I just heard it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm tired of it. I really am tired of people complaining about this country. You're a parasite, folks. This country, if you don't stand for something, if you're not making it better, you're a parasite. You're nothing. You're garbage. This country better. Stop complaining. Make it better. Do something to make the country better. Bring people together. Create a better life for the people around you. Show by example. Stop moaning like a little you know what?
You got to watch yourself. You got to watch yourself. I know. I don't know how you do the show by yourself when you don't have someone policing what you say, Richard Pearl. Yeah.
It's very tough sometimes because I'm tired of it. We should thank our forefathers for making a country where we could do great things. Instead, people complain about everything. Look, if you're a loser, you're a loser. It doesn't matter who the president is. If all you can do is complain, you're worthless.
You know, I got to tell you, Richard Pearl's show, Richard Pearl on Politics, follows the Steve Kane Show every weekday at 9. And, the guy in the control room that's running the board when you're on the air, he can't even leave the control room to use the men's room when you're on because they're very concerned about what might come out of your mouth, Richard Pearl.
Some truth to that.
No, there's truth. I'm not kidding.
It's hard on me. My second language is swearing.
Yeah.
I'm fluent. And the problem is that I got to watch myself when I'm on the air because it's so close. Sometimes they're just right there. But it's because I'm passionate about this country. I love this country. I was watching a few minutes of a show called Thank Your Lucky Stars. It was about a movie about war bonds and people loving this country during World War II. What happened to that population? Today, everyone's at odds. We want to have reparations. Black people don't like white people. White people don't like black people. At least that's what they tell us.
Yeah.
I don't do that. But that's what they tell us constantly. It's always divide. You're this American, you're that American.
That's true. Now, Richard Pearl's show is coming up in just a couple of minutes, and his store, Simply Natural, which is just filled with the most incredible nutraceuticals for pretty much anything that ails you. And we don't have time to get into Simply Natural right now, but you can, they're open 7 days a week, 11 a.m. till 9. You can call the store, 954-741-4045, and located in the city of Sunrise, just north of Sunset Strip on the east side of University. And to catch Richard Pearl on the radio, of course, we broadcast live on AM 1470, 95.3 FM, and 96.9 on the FM dial. But you can also carry Richard Pearl's radio show on the iHeartRadio app and the TuneIn app, searching for our station call letters, WWNN. That's 2 W's and 2 N's. All right, guys, have a great day. Richard Pearl, have a great show, and we'll be tuned in. Don't touch that dial. Richard Pearl's up next, and I'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Thanks for listening. This is the Steve Kane Radio Show, Florida's longest-running radio show.
AM 1470, FM 95.3, 96.9. South Florida's FM Money Talk Radio Network, WWNN, Pompano Beach.
All right. Hey, guys, listen, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe, click that notification bell, and everyone in the chat room, give me a thumbs up, all right, at least for the shirt. Can you do that just for the shirt? The thumbs up help a lot, though. All right, guys, I got to run, but I will see you all later. Thanks for watching.